Hey everyone, Ritesh Sharma here. I'm really excited to bring you this video tutorial series on spreadsheets. Before we get started with the session, just make sure you're not a beginner or an intermediate level user. These video series will be just for advanced users. In this session specifically, we are going to learn how to implement data consolidation in two softwares. One is Excel, which is a part of Microsoft Office software package, and another one is called Calc, which is a part of OpenOffice software package. So without any further delay, let's get started. Before we get into details, we first need to understand the basic meaning of consolidation. So consolidation is the process of combining two or more things into a single, much more efficient one. That is the basic meaning of consolidation. Now let us take a daily life example to understand the relation of data consolidation with spreadsheets. In this example, let's say the exams are over and the teacher has to create a digital document to store the results of all the students using spreadsheet. So the teacher will create one sheet with student name, marks and percentage. So let's create one. So name, marks and percentage. So let's name the sheet as marks, and the teacher also has created one more sheet to store the attendance of the students. Let's name this sheet as attendance, and let's write the labels. First there will be names and then the actual attendance of the respective students. So as you can see in both the sheets, they are both sharing one common label, that is the name of the students. Now what if the teacher has to create another sheet to store the final result? So how the teacher will create that sheet? Let's name the sheet first by the tag final, and the teacher has created the sheet with two labels, one being the name and the second being the total marks. The total marks are created based on the results from these two sheets, and the name tag we are getting from which is shared by both the tables, that is the marks and the attendance one. Now the question here is how the teacher will create this final sheet. What are the possibilities? So there are two basic possibilities how the teacher can create this final sheet. The first possibility is that the teacher will create one common sheet with the attendance plus the marks of the students. The second possibility is that the teacher will create individual sheets, one for the attendance and one for storing the marks of the student, and then the teacher will combine the results from both the sheets and enter the data into sheet 3, that is the final sheet. Now let us see the differences in these two options. In the first option, it seems easy to collect data and easy to manage. In the second option, it becomes more easy to manage because you are having two different sheets to store different types of data. In sheet 1 you can store only attendance, in sheet 2 you have to store and manage marks only. But the problem in second option is that you have to store and you have to take data individually from both these sheets and store the data manually into final sheet, that is sheet 3. In option 1, you have to collect data into one sheet, so that can be really messy. Sometimes people uh, have to face a lot of problem while creating only one sheet for all the data. Now, what if I tell you there is a third option which you can use to arrange your data individually so that it can be well arranged, and also it will be easy to manage. The third option you can have using this tool, which is called data consolidation. Now, as we have the basic and theoretical understanding of data consolidation in spreadsheets, now let us move on to practical implementation of data consolidation. So as you can see on my screen, on my left side I have opened OpenOffice Calc, and on my right side I have opened Microsoft Excel. In both the softwares I have created 3 sheets. First sheet I have named as results, in which I am storing the result of the students, and in the second sheet, which is named as attendance, I am storing the attendance of the students, and I have created another sheet named as final, in which I will store the result which I will get after implementing the consolidation tool. Doesn't matter which software you're using, if you want to implement consolidation, the first thing you have to do is you have to select a cell. That cell will be the target cell, and that cell should belong to the target sheet. After selecting the cell, I will go to the data tab in the top menu, and I will navigate to the consolidate option. I will click on the consolidate option, and a dialog box will appear. In this dialog box, you will have everything you need to apply or to use consolidate tool. The first thing you have to do is you have to select a function. We have a wide range of functions available, but I want to implement sum, so I have selected sum here. After selecting sum, you have to select a reference. The reference is nothing but the base of your data consolidation. It is the selection of data. So I can select from here. I can select on this button and select the data manually, or I can type the data here. I will select this button and select the data manually. After clicking this button, I will go to the results sheet and select the data present in it. After selecting data, you can also see the data appears in the reference section. After selecting that, I will press enter and I'll click on add, and you can see in all references list your current selection appears. After I'm done with that, I'll add one more data from the attendance sheet in the similar pattern. After you are happy with the selection, you can click on enter and click on add. I'll go to the third sheet and I'll click on top row and left column, as the top row and the left column is common in both the data, and I don't want to add those values, so I'll select those things, and I want to use because I want to use them as labels. Then I'll click OK if I'm happy with all the things, and you can see as a result all the values are added from both the sheets. So from both the sheets all the values are added, as you can see in MS Excel part. Now let us move on to the implementation of data consolidation in Calc. So the first thing you have to do is you have to select the sheet which will be the target sheet, and in that target sheet you have to select the target cell. So after you have selected the target cell by just simply clicking on it, you have to go to data tab. After clicking on data tab, you have to navigate to the consolidate option and click on it. After clicking on consolidate option, you will see a dialog box in front of you which is very similar to that which we saw in Microsoft Excel. Here also you have to select whichever function you like or prefer to apply, and then you have to select the consolidation ranges. Consolidation ranges are nothing but the references or the base data on which you will apply data consolidation. So you can select the ranges from here by clicking on this button and then navigating to the sheet where your data is present. I'll select this data and I'm happy with the selection. I'll click on enter and then I'll click on add, and as you can see, the range appears in the consolidation ranges. Now I'll add another data which is present in attendance list. I'll click enter and I will press add. Now I have both the data which I need in the consolidation ranges. Now I will one more thing which you can do is you can define your sources if you want to give it a name or something. That is totally optional. So if you don't want to do it, you can just leave it as it is. Then click on more and we will select rows labels and column labels because I want to use them as labels. So I'll click on OK, and as soon as I click OK, as you can see on the screen, the data is added from both. So let us check whether the results are correct or not. So here I have 1 1 and 1, here I have 2 3 and 3. So in cell B2 I have 1 here, and in attendance sheet I have 2 here. So final 1 plus 2 3. Let us check one more. In cell C2 I have 1 here, and in sheet 2 I have 3. So 1 plus 3 is 4, so it is correct. Now let us move on to the main thing. What if I try to change the data present in the base cells, that is the result present in result sheet and attendance sheet? What if I want to change this data? Let us change the data for student 2 from 3 to 4. So let's see whether the changes get reflected in the result sheet or not. So 4 plus 3 should be 7, but here you can see that it is still 6. So here's the problem. Now how we can solve this problem? When we have implemented data consolidation, I haven't checked this section, that is create links to source data. So what this does is that it creates a link in between your base data and your target sheet. So let's check it now and click OK. Now you can see the change is reflected, and we changed earlier the data from 3 to 4, and 4 plus 3 should have been 7. Now you can see it is 7, and you can also see from where the final or the target sheet is taking data. For other sheets also you can see here. Here the same thing will happen on Calc also. So if you want to change it, you have to select the same cell, go to consolidate option, click on more and select this section, that is linked to source data. Click on OK, and whatever change you will make in the base sheets will be reflected on your final sheet. So that was the practical implementation of data consolidation in Excel as well as Calc. So we went through this lengthy process to do a very small thing, but it is very useful if you have a large amount of data. But what if I tell you there is another method called 3D sum to do the same thing. Let us see how we can implement that. So I'll use the same data to implement 3D sum. The first thing you have to understand while implementing 3D sum is that there are some requirements. The basic requirements are you have to create the data, or you have to sort the data, or you have to arrange the data in a particular manner. The data should be arranged in specific cells. For example, I have selected these cells and these cells are starting from B2 to D4. In the second sheet, the data is present in the same cells with respect to student 1 and test 1 and student 2 and test 2. So all the data is arranged in a specific way. So if your data is arranged in a specific way, then you can implement 3D sum. Let us implement 3D sum. First, I will create another sheet and rename the sheet to 3D sum. Then after creating that sheet, I will click on the first cell in which I am having the data. The first cell is B2. I will leave the labels as it is. I will select the data on which I want to implement 3D sum. So this is the data on which I want to implement 3D sum. So it is starting from cell B2. So I'll go to the sheet called 3D sum. In that sheet, I will click on the same cell, that is B2. After selecting that cell, I will click on the function or the formula bar and I will start typing the formula with equal to sign and then the function name, brackets. In the brackets, I will write inverted commas and then I will write the sheet names. So first sheet name is results colon the name of the second sheet, that is attendance ATT. Then I will write exclamation mark and then I'll write the cell number, that is B2. So B2 and then I will press enter. So as you can see, you have the sum of the data present in B2 cells of both the sheets. So from result sheet I am taking 1 and from the attendance sheet I am taking 2. So 2 plus 1 is 3. So in 3D sum sheet I can see 3. So if I will drag this, I will get the data from all the sheets. So I got this, I applied a different tool and I got the same results. So let us see if I change anything in any of those two sheets, whether that change will be reflected or not. So I'll go to result sheet and I will change this one. Now make sure you see 2 here in the 3D sum sheet. So it is 2. Let us change the result sheet to 1 to 2. I'll press enter and then I'll go to 3D sum. Now you can see it is changed to 3. So the changes are reflected. So now you can say that you have 2 ways to implement the same thing, but the 2 ways are totally different. If you want a UI experience, then you can use or go with the consolidate option. If you want to go into much more hardcore way, that is using the 3D sum. So both the both the tools have their own pros and cons, so it is totally up to you which method you want to select. Both will give you the same results, but as far as the 3D sum is concerned, you cannot implement the 3D sum actually in Calc. It is directly available in Excel only. So if you are using Excel, you can directly go for using 3D sum. So if you found the content in this video useful, and if it helped you anyhow, just make sure you share this video with other people. And thank you so much for watching. Hope you all have a nice day. God bless you.